powers that be are kind of destroying the relationship with the creator kind of thing.
between people and in a society, because I could always argue. You could always say, okay, but why people and Catholics have been bad, so Catholicism is bad, or look what happened in Syria, so Muslim is dangerous. Look what happened in Israel, so Jew people are dangerous. But it doesn't change the fact that we are living in the same country here. We got a lot of people different, and you can do your religion, I can do mine. I don't have any actually, but
Actually, from France.
Yeah, you can tell.
Can you tell?
You can tell he's from France. Yes.
You could have one, and we don't need to compete with each other. So we don't need
I agree with you.
If we take examples of what happened in the past or other countries, we always find details that oppose each other.
That's true.
And that's one point. So I was listening you talking to the guy, asking him a proof of evidence in the 7th century, blah blah blah.
That's right. Yes.
And the guys, when he couldn't argue, he did raise a voice.
Exactly. Yes.
Behind, like, yeah, go, bro. So it's funny.
True.
It's on Sunday,
Absolutely,
but at the end, when you live with somebody, it's just you tolerate, you accept.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just stay like this and say, I'm right,
you don't
you're wrong.
do that.
Okay.
No, there isn't a need.
I'm convinced.
Yeah.
That's fine. You can be convinced as well.
Absolutely, and still live together. Yeah.
And
you have a
I totally agree with you.
Axel doesn't believe in God. Axel is in the point where he doesn't believe in God at all.
Doesn't believe in God.
No.
But you have
I believe in you, huh?
I don't know whether the wife will agree with you, but it's all right. He'll do. It's fine. You know what I've always asked Axel? If you look, and I'm on a general level, I mean, if you look, somewhere, have you heard of Richard Dawkins, the writer?
Just the name.
Just the name, Somebody had told him, he says, you of all the people should believe in God. See, he says, why? He says, because for you to be such a genius as a result of an accident is impossible. They got him. I suppose he can't even say no, can he? No, but I mean, what is it that makes you think there can't be a creator? Well, just asking.
There's a difference between I don't think and I believe.
Yeah.
So even if I think it's possible there is a creator,
it doesn't mean
even
you believe it.
This guy, by only being born, is kind of magic regarding what happens in other planets. Just one more person. I think it's quite magic. Can't really explain.
That's true. Yes.
But it doesn't make me believe in a religion, in a creator, in some rules.
Right.
Yes, that's different things. So I believe that's quite magic when you go in springs, flowers coming from nowhere.
Yes.
I believe it's magic that in some part of the world, you got different animals.
Yes.
They can't live here. That's magic.
True.
I can't really explain it.
It's true. Yeah.
And I'm quite happy about it.
Are you okay?
But it doesn't make me believe in a religion.
something you were talking about earlier about the
Nabil Qureshi is here.
Really?
Shabir,
sorry.
Something you were talking about earlier about the chick inside the egg, and that was something that I was thinking about. How can a chick is surviving without when a baby is inside the
umbilical cord connection.
The umbilical cord, it has a connection, getting all the blood and oxygen and everything. And this thing is surviving in a closed environment without receiving any kind of oxygen. And then it comes out, and it's all, doesn't it? These things not kind of make you think that how is this possible? It's completely closed, no oxygen, no anything, and this chick is growing and surviving inside its environment. How is that?
I don't know. And many things in life I don't know.
We don't know.
Some people they want always to explain and say, "Oh, this is a proper way." I just don't know, and I'm amazed as well. Like probably
absolutely,
Probably you believe, makes you see the things in a way. I see things in another way, but we both agree that's magic. There's something bigger above us.
True. You see the way I look at it, Axel. You know the word magic, as you used it, it is absolutely true. And this is still only the few percent that we know about the world and the universe. Yeah, the more we find out, the more we will realize that this cannot just be as a result of an accident in the conventional understanding of the word. Yeah, exactly. But have we got a lifetime in which to discover everything? That's the problem, because we don't. Yeah, and what is it that we are seeking? As you said, as human beings, we want to live together peacefully. We can all have different opinions, we can have different beliefs, not a problem, but at the end of the day, we have got one ultimate reality, and that reality is 6 foot underground. That is the ultimate reality. You can be young, you can be middle-aged, you can be old, you can be whatever. The ultimate reality, the only certainty is that we will be 6 foot underground. But there is fear attached to that. There is also an understanding that ought to be attached to that. Yes? I want to be enveloping my child with mercy and kindness. I want every human being to be...
You need more. You need more.
Not only more, every human being wants to be enveloped by the mercy. And there is no better mercy than there's no better envelope than the mercy of what we would call the Creator. For
this is where it comes to
difference.
This is where I've got a different one.
I agree with you, but I am saying to you, I am saying, because we have such a short lifespan, we have to think very carefully about what it is we are here for. As you rightly said, this brother being born, it is amazing. How? But once the child is born, what is it for? We all are always seeking purpose and reason in our life. What for?
Yeah, some people need poesy, some people need to believe, some people need something
But what
else.
for?
But I agree, you need something else.
Exactly, but what for?
Yeah.
What for? Why is the human brain wired to seek information? To what end? If the objective is to die anyway, why is the human being so concerned about wanting to find out what is in that planet down there?
Exactly this reason that makes him different than an animal.
But why?
Because he's got mind.
Agreed. But if we think about it, why is that in the human being? Why do we want to find out? Why do we want to be kind? Why do we want to be merciful? Why do we want to have justice? Why? Because if at the end of the day, the distinction between what we call the animal kingdom and the human being is only the facility up here, yes, why would we want to do that? To what end? Because I know that if I decide to steal this camera without him knowing, it's to my benefit.
Is it a good one?
Yeah, it is a good one. If it is to my benefit, can I take it? We say no.
So yeah, but this is the law and this is the rule of a society. It's not a belief of humankind.
Agreed.
Because we can't live if we don't have rules.
Yeah,
but we can go in politics, right, left,
absolutely,
whatever,
Axel. But now if I were to tell you, look, Axel, I agree with you about the rules, but I have decided, because I have an independent mind, I have decided I don't want to follow the rules. Is that all right?
You can do it, but at a point you will finish in jail, or you will finish in a cemetery, or you will finish
exactly.
in a cave.
But what it means, Axel, is that I'm being forced to act in a certain way, aren't I?
Yeah, but you have been raised and educated this way, and you can still change. Even if you have been educated in a way, you can
That's
be
right.
One. I'm sure you can find people here that have been educated as Muslims, they are now Catholics, and from others
Absolutely.
Catholics, they are now Muslims. So it's just here.
I agree.
And if we don't have this, we can't live as a society.
I agree, but you see, my question is still, if after educating myself, I have realized these rules are imposed by men and I don't want to live by those rules, would I be allowed?
Not by the society.
Why?
Because the society society wouldn't exist if there is no law. That's the definition of society.
So in effect, you are telling me that rules are being forced onto me.
No. Rules have been created by men
Yeah.
to make a society.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can be wrong, they can be right, they can
Correct.
be somewhere else different. In the
But-
past, it could be different.
but
they
I-
have been created by men.
But I cannot go in society without obeying the rules, can I?
You can, but one day you're going to hit the wall.
Exactly. So that means I'm being forced to obey the rules.
You've been educated.
Sorry?
And every decision has a consequence. If you decide to live outside of the rules of society, then there will be consequences.
Yes, you are right. So you are agreeing with me that the rules are actually forced on me.
No.
Okay, do I have a choice not to obey the rules?
Which rules are you talking?
Any rules. Agreed. But if I go to prison, it means I'm being forced to obey the rules. Are you following?
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Now, if I decide that I don't want to obey the rules, can I do it?
Yes, you can, but you would not be able to do it in this
Society. Exactly.
To go to another society where it was possible for you to live
Now-
without obeying rules.
Absolutely right.
No society with no rules.
And there is no, you are absolutely right. There is no society with no rules.
Yes.
Every society has rules.
Yes.
So everyone,
bad ones.
so absolutely. But so everybody is being forced.
In a way.
Okay. Let's say everybody has been forced.
Yes.
And what's
I tell you, here's you're right. You take the next one. If you are forced, and as you rightly pointed out, there are certain good rules, there are bad rules, yes? If I were to tell you, okay, Axel, I tell you what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we'll call it 6. Sorry guys, you're out of it. Yeah, 3 and 3, 6 of us. Let's sit down and let's formulate rules that will apply to all human beings across the world in a just way. Can we do it?
So you can't say just way and force people to accept your rules. That's impossible. That's completely. You can say I've got my rules, I've got my opinions. I can talk to the other to convince them, but I can't force other ones. Otherwise,
Right.
you go in
So,
a country,
yeah.
you create. Could be I could say Israel or you know,
Yeah.
you could quickly.
Now,
you can go to an example
Absolutely.
where
But if you are right, but if you see, you are from France, aren't you, brother?
Yeah.
Yeah. We are the United Kingdom. You've got Spain, Portugal. All these countries have something in common.
yeah, they come here to find job.
Apart from that, we are part of the European Union.
Yeah,
Yeah? Was that a good idea?
it's a
Brexit.
No, it's a long story because you could always look at facts afterwards.
Absolutely.
But in the time after Second World War,
Yes.
it was a good idea. Now
Yes.
it's something else.
It
It's a
looks different.
world.
I agree with you. But you see, if you had the whole of Europe acting collectively,
Yeah.
yes, it became a very, very stable situation. Yeah? But at the same time, if you are collectively looking at everything, then the benefit also everybody will share. If there are going to be problems, then you can deal with them collectively. The more the collective, the better it is for all the human beings contained, because it will mean necessarily that all of them will be treated fairly because they will be abiding by one set of rules.
So this is where you say we need to force people with rules.
But then,
I'll come back to that.
that one set of rules is being imposed on people, right?
Yes.
By, if you like, by whatever it is, the
Yeah.
European Union.
Yes.
So they're imposing rules on people regardless of their cultural background.
Yes.
And that can't be right, because this is what happened with Czechoslovakia before, there
Yes.
was the big breakup
Yes.
because people were put together
Yes.
falsely. There was a lot of tensions there.
Yes.
But eventually it blew apart.
Yes.
And I believe that the EU will act, I say I believe.
Yes.
I think it's very likely
Yes.
that the EU will come apart.
Yes, it looks like that. It looks like that.
looks very much like
But having said that, does it not necessarily mean that what was once a unit
Yes.
is broken into various pieces, and each one will now start competing
Yeah.
for their own little bit?
Yeah.
That is likely to increase the tension that you are talking about.
Yeah.
If you take it back to pre-World War, these very tensions are the ones that made one individual decide to act. Having said that, if you think about it, we all seem to have one thing in common as human beings. We want the best that we can have. And a standard rule would be this, that each one of us that has got this feeling, we want for the other. Yeah? If, do unto others what you would have them do unto you. Yeah? Now, if we were to apply that on a universal standard, would that be wrong?
No.
It wouldn't. But then come the technical details. Yes, these rules we are talking about. What we would have to try and seek out are objective rules which can be applied to all of humanity.
Okay.
It's a difficult task, but it is not impossible. You see, with the European Union breaking up, okay, the competition will just increase. There were many things that were possible with the European Union which may not be possible after its breakup.
Yes, that's why
So
it needs to come from the people,
I mean,
for the people.
Exactly.
Not from an identity.
I mean,
saying,
absolutely.
You should apply this rule or this rules.
Exactly. But I mean, just imagine, when you came into the UK, did you just drive in?
No.
Did you fly?
I took a train.
You took a train, didn't you? And you just came in.
Yeah.
Did you obtain a visa?
No.
Why?
Because I don't need it.
You don't need it.
Yeah.
Once if the United Kingdom decides bye-bye, visas are going to have to be imposed.
Yeah.
Then it's all the money. And then suddenly the tourists will say it's too expensive to go, I'm not going. But that's just as, there are many things.
But the issue for the English people is that in 1973, was it 1973?
1973,
We
yes.
had a referendum to join the common market.
That's correct.
That's all it was. And
Yeah.
now it's a European Union
Yeah.
with a whole political thing about it's talking about having their own army.
Yes.
And the monetary thing, the whole thing.
Absolutely.
It's a very, very different thing to what the British people
Agreed.
signed up to as a common market
Agreed.
in 1973.
Agreed.
So
Because it was as well as the Cold War. It was a different war. It was
It's true,
different
but
story.
you're right. But if you think about it, from 73 to 2016, major changes have taken place.
They have.
But the question we have to ask as the general public is, were those changes for the benefit of the countries involved, or did they turn out to be something that is not good for the countries? That's an issue. Now you must bear in mind, it's this way. Yeah, absolutely. But if yeah.
are not good. Taking
Absolutely.
away the sovereignty of the country
Well, I don't think that has necessarily happened.
imposed upon them
Yeah.
is not a good thing.
No, but when you say taking away the sovereignty, I mean, in what context do you mean the sovereignty was taken away?
Well, because our government
Yes.
has now rules imposed upon them by the EU.
Yes.
Whether we agree or not, we might vote to whether we accept it or not. But we actually.
I can give you a very good example.
Yeah, sorry.
Back to your.
Exactly. Now,
Am I being forced?
Yeah.
Yes, we're being forced.
No, but
We're being forced
absolutely.
to accept something that we haven't agreed to.
but if you hadn't agreed to it, the question that was asked before the rule was implemented was whether this rule would be collectively good. So, as an example, you have, as you said, the United Kingdom Parliament here can legislate.
Yeah.
We can have law.
Yeah.
But if that law conflicts with EU law,
Right.
EU law will take precedence.
Yes.
That's what the standard is. But there has to be a good reason for that. If there isn't a good reason, then there has to be an arena in in which one can force change.
Let me
Now-
interrupt, sorry, just
Yeah,
for
sure.
one reason. Because if you say the law is going to conflict with the European law, the problem is for
Domestic
a lot
law.
of Europeans
Domestic
like us,
law, yes.
is the law is decided by people taking law for us.
Yeah.
And we can't give our opinion and say, okay, this law is going to be different.
Yes.
We should do in a different way. That's why we don't believe in
I
the story.
agree.
It could be a good thing,
Yeah.
but the difference you could see between England and most of the countries in Europe is you can still decide what you do with your own currency.
Yes.
I'm French. If the
Yes.
French government wants to do something,
Yes,
it can't.
it can't. It can't.
So
You're
you see,
bound.
This is where we
You're bound.
decide
But he,
to give up.
but he,
supremacy.
you see, you are absolutely excellent.
It's a choice.
But here is the issue I was just referring to. You see, if sovereignty was taken away, we would not have the British pound. But we do. So there is concession.
No,
There-
it
if
could
I
be
can-
one more thing. Doesn't mean one thing.
It can be,
or the other.
yeah, exactly.
Just one more.
Now, if I can, you see, the concessions are there. If we have decided to stay with the British pound, it hasn't caused a problem, has it? If you ask the business people who are trading in euros, yes, they will have something to say because the pound fluctuates. Yeah. Now, if that is the case, the question we have to ask is, common people, what is the best that can be done which will be of maximum benefit to all those concerned? It's not an easy task for the legislators or the people who are developing all this. It is a nearly impossible task sometimes. But does it necessarily mean that the idea is a wrong one?
No, I completely
There
agree
you
with
are.
this one, but the one deciding
Sorry.
is not the one voting. We are
Is that the
and
yeah?
somebody big firms that different interests in that.
Agreed.
Because if the tax
Yes.
you can have different tax in the country
Yes.
and a different tax in another country.
Yes.
If you need to pay people in the country at a different rate than another one,
Yeah.
you would play with this rule.
Yes.
So you prefer to have different rules everywhere.
Yeah, true. But
no
you see,
interest to have the same everywhere.
but here, you know, what you are saying, I agree. But you are actually telling me exactly what I've been saying. You see, somebody is developing a rule without your permission,
yeah,
and you don't like that.
yeah.
If the rule is good for you, does it matter?
So you as a society is not only me and this gentleman.
Yes, but if it is good for us, does it matter?
Yes.
Why?
Still.
Why?
Because it's a democracy, so all different people need to
Let's
have
look at the
their opinion.
the idea of a democracy is for the people, of the people, by the people, by the people.
Actually, that's
Now,
not by the people, not at all.
but look, if you think about it, is it fair? I ask for an opinion. I know this is going to sound controversial, but I'm just telling you, would it be fair for me to say something and then ask the person to vote on it, even though they may not necessarily have received the full picture? We all know that politicians in most instances are very charismatic speakers.
Yeah.
They will convince you red is green.
Yeah.
And you will say yes. Now, there is a fundamental weakness in the system here, that if they are able to convince you so easily, and then the complaints start after they get into the House of Commons, where they are sitting and you are thinking, I never asked you to vote for that. What are you doing? But by then it's too late because you had elected them.
Yeah, but I don't mind to be elected, but with to be elected is coming something else called responsibility.
Yes.
So you can ask people to vote.
Yeah.
You can say this is you must vote, but once I voted, you must as well go every day to the parliament to do your job.
Do
That's
they?
exactly the same thing.
Do they do that?
No, that's the thing. That's
They
what
don't.
we are all peaceful.
Oh, sorry.
Speaks very quietly.
Yeah, sure.
You must have a way to object.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I agree. Yes. Yes, I agree with you. She is absolutely right. She says, look, there must be a way to object. There must be an arena, as I said earlier on. Exactly, there has to be an arena even for them, so that we can slap them if they go wrong. I don't mean that physically. I mean,
So now we
okay.
come back to the dilemma, which
Yes.
we're not hearing about in this whole debate.
Yes.
That even though we vote, if as a country we voted to come out of the European Union,
Yes.
the European Union can actually overrule that and say, I'm sorry, you can't do that. Doesn't matter what you people
Yes.
say. You are in and you've got to stay in whether you like
Yeah.
it or not.
Agreed.
That's crazy. Why are we
Agreed.
having a referendum in that
Yes.
case? If there is no point in it at the end, and it can
Yes.
be overturned.
You see, I agree with you, but sometimes what happens is the government accedes to the request of the people. But the government already knows what the result is going to be. What I mean by that is, look, we are going to have a referendum, okay? Should we or should we not? Now, all the competing parties have started asking and this, that. But what will happen ultimately is this. The people who are responsible for the decision to be made, yeah, the people will be told. 9 times out of 10, unfortunately, we will be fed information on the basis of which we will make a decision. Only later to find that that information was not entirely correct.
That's right. Yeah.
And so we are thinking, well, we didn't say this, but whatever is going to happen, my view is simple. If I can be a part of an institution that will look at the maximum benefit for the human beings, that is what I would want happening. Now, at the end of the day, we all have different opinions, yeah? And we all have to think, okay, my opinion disagrees with yours, but if a problem arises, I should not find it a problem together and we resolve the problem. And that is what it is about. At the end of the day, we as human beings,
There's a difference probably between the beauty of the idea and the way
practicalities.
the world is working.
Exactly.
Because they got the
Exactly.
responsibility, but
Yes.
they are not so much control.
Yes.
And you are much more control in England than in France.
yes,
Because here you're playing with public funds. You can
Yes.
get troubles in France.
you can't.
Well, I can give you so many examples.
That is true. But that
the thing.
ultimately, you know,
It must come with a responsibility.
Exactly.
And with the responsibility,
Yeah.
more people are involved and are talking about politics and their own life. More pressure they can
Yeah.
put on people that are representing their own votes.
ultimately, you know what it boils down to? The people who are in the area of responsibility need somebody to look after them responsibly.
Yeah, it should be us.
And that is what is missing. We can't be us. It will never be able to be us, honestly.
It should be.
Should be, as you just said, idea is beautiful. Practicalities are completely different. Unless and until I, for example, you know, this is what I say. If I know of something, I'm walking in a street and I see something very expensive, and I'm tempted to I'm tempted to steal
You
it.
can't sell it. You can't give it. So it's,
Yeah, if I were to, hey, Axel, if I were to see something which is valuable and I wanted to pick it up, as I'm going, I suddenly realize a lot of cameras are observing. Would I do it? The likelihood is no, because I know, they are watching me and I'll get into serious trouble here.
If you were to pick it up and take it to the local police station, if it's not claimed within 6 months, it belongs to you.
Absolutely, I agree with you, but I was thinking about stealing it.
Let me give you an idea. If today, me, you and this gentleman, we try to write a different constitution.
Yes,
Next Sunday we come, we are 7. The Sunday after, we are 12. So.
yes,
One day we're going to be millions.
yes.
So we go to the government and say, okay, the majority of people in this country, they want to have these new rules.
Yes.
What do you do? This to put pressure on people. But so far we don't do it. And me, the first.
You know why?
The problem.
Honestly,
We should
you are
do it.
right. But I'll tell you what the problem is. We have got our own daily.
choice,
We know.
because we are so much.
Not only that, but we have got our own daily lives to lead. We have got so many things that we have to do during the day. If somebody comes and say, right, come on guys, let's go there. We are going to,
This is why it keeps
I
on
don't think I'm
working always
going
the same way.
absolutely, and they'll continue because the people don't have that time. Do they look after themselves and their families, or should they drop everything and try and change something that may take 10 years, 15 years, 20 years? Usually, that is where we come back to that short lifespan. How much can you do, and can you do the right things within that short lifespan? That is the question.
Sorry.
I know we have to go. We are finished.
Nabil Qureshi wants to have a word with you. So
Why would I want a word with him?
just a quick 5
Yeah. the same thing again.
I'm so charismatic, sorry.
Original point. What was the original point?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. Yeah. So basically, that is how I look at it. And you know, when we come to the idea itself, as you said, 1, 5, 10, 50, 100. I'm looking and thinking, why not the whole of humanity?
Yeah, you know, I'm going to give
Why not?
my own opinion on everything is, you know, this is a street, we can give opinions.
Yes.
Now, and in the past you had coffees, you had bars, people were out, they were talking to each other. Now we got internet, we got lobbies, we got people, they stay always together. They don't speak their opinions.
Yes.
We don't talk too much, we just vote once or twice a year, and that's finished.
Yeah.
But more will do this, more is going to change.
Yeah, but
Because we can see what's the reality.
But you're right. But if you think about
It's
it,
not about posting a like on Facebook or saying a yes to on a blog or promoting something you're going to.
But if
everybody,
you're right. But if you look at it, the development of technology is getting to such a pace that you know the borders are nearly meaningless now. Because if we want to communicate with somebody on the other end of the world, it takes a matter of minutes. Yeah? As we say, can you WhatsApp X? Where is he? He's in Timbuktu or somewhere.
That's why we don't
just like that.
Talk to each other. Let's say you're single, you want to date somebody, you go on a match or something.
Whatever, yes.
In the bar and approach somebody.
Absolutely.
But we talk less together.
You know, I agree with you. I mean, it is a disadvantage because there's a family in a house.
And people suffer.
And for 1 hour, they aren't talking to each other.
I understand that the brother's very charismatic, but I really do need to.
He's handsome as well, like me. Yeah, but basically that is what it is. There are so many things that it's that short lifespan within which we have to try and establish what is the best way forward.
Is this not the best way forward?
It's one way.
The only dilemma is,
have you ever had a look at
if everybody agreed to do the same thing, you know, and it's for the benefit of everybody, that's great. But there's one thing that's a problem, and that problem is inside mankind, and that is that we are greedy and we are selfish, and that is the thing that stops the benefits, you know, of and it's what will stop the EU, I'm afraid.
It's true.
Greed and selfishness, and people wanting their own way.
You're right.
Can we have a last few sentences, last few words before we go to Nabil Qureshi?
Selflessness is what is required. Sorry, what was that? What was that? Huh? Selflessness. Well, a pleasure meeting you, Axel. Absolute pleasure, sir. Look after yourself. Look after yourself, my dear. Okay? Good.
Very nice to meet you.